What's going on, y'all? My name's Rob. Welcome back to the Kentucky Chew. Alright folks, welcome back. Appreciate you tuning in. Let's talk some whiskey. We're still working through the Budget Bourbon Brawl. The last video was the beginning rounds of Elite 8. Go check that out if you missed it. This will make a lot more sense in this video. We've got 2 more rounds of the Elite 8. Got some heavy hitters. We've got some whiskeys that have been around the block for a while. I'm excited. Let's see what we've got. Alright, so over here on this side we've got the powerhouses coming out of the Buffalo Trace distillery. We've got the good old Buffalo Trace, Old Faithful, Weller Special Reserve. 2, in my opinion, great whiskeys, good products. Allocated products with that though, hard to get, almost impossible for most people, but still good products, just overhyped. And you know, these are just good entry-level products, and that's what they were intended for. But marketing and bourbon in the golden age, and it is what it is. So I threw them in here. They're in here for the reason that they do fall in that $20 to $35 price range. And so I'm just trying to figure out what the best, like I said, budget bourbon value is. Over here on this side, some staples, some good whiskey. Old reliable is what I'll call this category over here. You've got the Wild Turkey 101. This isn't a lot of people's favorites. A lot of people like this product. It's, if you follow anyone who enjoys whiskey, anyone who talks about bourbon, you know, your top 5 values, your good go-to, whatever that may be, I have not seen a list that did not have Wild Turkey 101 on it. And I personally had never had it until we did this series right here. It's a hitter. It's a good one. I'm not surprised that it has made it into the Elite 8. And it's going up against a product out of a distillery that I personally love a lot, Old Forester. You got the Old Forester. This is the 100. There are numerous Old Forester products that you can go get that are available on the shelf, but they're a little more expensive. This one is in the $20 price range. It is less than $30. I want to say it's around $23, $24, and that's steal. I mean, fantastic product. So this is going to be tough, but let's do it. We got to do it. We're going to do a blind. Wonderful Wife has poured up these whiskeys for me again. Here's the pairings. I don't know in what order they are. I'm just going to have them put in front of me. I'm going to taste them, and we're going to just see what we get. So let's dive in. And again, shout out to everyone that has liked and subscribed so far. We're a new channel. We're just getting our feet wet in this, and it's been a lot of fun. We're already learning a lot. I'm already getting to interact with some of you all. So shout out to you all who are commenting on the channel and helping it grow. If you are tuning in and you like what you see, you like what you're hearing, please do us a favor. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. We promise we're going to keep trying to put out just good, transparent information about a product that we love, bourbon. So with that, let's go ahead and get to swirling our glass, open up those flavors, and the nose here on this very first one is a pleasant one. It's a good one. Starts off with like a sweet oak. I would definitely say it's got some sweet red fruit in there. Maybe a slight hint of vanilla and caramel. All those traditional things you're looking for in a whiskey product. I'll say it favors more on the sweet side though, like the fruity sweet. Cheers, y'all. Happy chewing. Okay. It's a good one. Nice flavor. Forgot to mention this in the beginning of the video. I feel like I always talk too fast because I'm excited to get to actually tasting the products, but Buffalo Trace and Weller are 90 proof, and then you've got the Wild Turkey 101, obviously 101 proof, and the Old Forester 100, obviously 100 proof. Not a huge variation in between those. Gonna drink roughly the same as far as proof goes. When I tasted all these products in the previous rounds, all drink right around their proof point. You know, like, some products are going to be 115 proof, but they drink like they're 130 proof. It might be good, that might not be a good thing. You'd have to try it and see. Some are a 90 or 100 proof, but they drink well below it, right? Like it has no kick to it at all, no alcohol burn. This one, it just seems pretty well-rounded is a word I like, or a term I like to use with whiskey. Well-rounded bourbon here. Not drinking hot, not drinking like it lacks flavor though. So all around, a good start to a night when you go to opening the palate up. Yeah, pretty good whiskey in there. It has a delightful nose. I would definitely say it's got some red fruit in there. The taste initially does have a little bit of the oak. It gets really sweet as it lingers, and then a decent finish. That doesn't hang around too long, but it's there just long enough for you to get to enjoy the whole product. So let's move on to glass number 2. Open it up, give it a little bit of a swirl. Think this one's a little fruitier? Not by much though. Too close to tell. Pretty similar. We're not doing this blind to guess what's in the glass, but if I was a betting man, I do think I know which one this pairing is. And then a pretty well-rounded taste to finish there too. This is gonna be a tough one. I'm not picking up a lot of differences in between these two. Pretty similar nose. The taste, very consistent between the both of these. And then a nice well-rounded finish. Doesn't hang on too long, but it's there just enough for you to enjoy it. I'm gonna have to go back and forth here, so bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna go with glass number 2. Reason I'm going with glass number 2, these noses are almost identical. Taste, spot on, can't tell the difference. I don't know which one is which. I have a guess on what pairing this is. The reason I'm giving the nudge to the second glass is the finish. You know, I'm big on the finish. I've talked about the finish a lot here. That's important. I like the mouthfeel. I like for the flavors to stick around, right? That's how I enjoy whiskey. Swish it around a little bit, let it sit there, open it up, and then swallow and see what all you get there. This glass is giving me more of that. And for that reason, I'm going with this one. We'll stay tuned. We will find out shortly what is in glass number 2. Let's move on to the second pairing here. All right, and for those of you sitting there saying, come on guy, get through it. I know I'm a talker. That's been in my blood since I was born. I'm going to talk. The reason I didn't want to know what was in each glass is because I want to try to make this a little more difficult on myself. So we'll go back and forth with these two, see what we get, and get one step closer to our final 4. So cheers, happy chewing. All right, this one has a lot more of a, what I call a traditional Kentucky whiskey nose, like smoked peanut, what I'm getting right now, compared to the first two. Not really getting sweetness. A little bit of like if you're out in a barn, some hay in there. That's what we got in glass number 1. Yeah, that's good. I love that whiskey can be so different, right? Like whiskey's whiskey, bourbon's bourbon, and there's 1,000 different ways for this to be done and for it to taste. Well, 1,000 ways for it to be finished, I'll say. This product here is true Kentucky whiskey, and that maybe won't make sense for a lot of people who haven't tried a lot of Kentucky whiskey. Like, this is what I'm reaching for on a nice Kentucky fall day. You got the fire going, you're outside, you know, this is not sweet, it's not overly sweet, so you know that's where it's going to differ on if you're going to like this or not. I rarely think that there's a bad whiskey product. It takes a lot for me to say that because I just truly like it, and this is incredibly different from the first two, but good in its own way. And I'll say this, keep in mind, we've got 90 to 100 proof, so like not a huge difference in my opinion, but still a difference. Nothing I've tasted so far tastes like it's a drop over 100 proof. I mean, just smooth, well-rounded, easy to drink. That's awesome. I'm gonna leave that with this on this one. A good product, definitely tastes like Kentucky whiskey. Definitely has some peanut oak nose sense to it. Taste matches up with that. Pretty good finish too. Overall good whiskey. Let's move on to glass number 2. All right, I'll tell you this. I know I'm starting to drink my whiskey more often because I think I'm getting pretty good at knowing what's what. Yeah, 2 very different products here. This one's sweet, banana sweet. I'm proud of myself. I'm starting to know what I'm smelling. Like, I kind of know what's in my glass. That's good. I'm getting somewhere. Golly, that's good. You know, I don't like overly sweet things. Like, I'm a big coffee drinker, but I don't want my coffee to taste like sugar. I don't know. Like, I'm not like it's gotta be black coffee type of guy. But just overly sweet type things, I'm not a big fan of, right? Like, so for me, when a bourbon is able to balance that line, right? Like it's definitely got the sweet flavor in it, but it's like it's still bourbon, it's still whiskey. You've mastered it. That probably says a lot about my palate and what I like and what I go for. This one checks those boxes. If you're new to this and you're like, man, I watch these channels, I see guys talk about this stuff, see gals or girls talk about what they smell, what they taste, and you're like, I don't like whiskey's whiskey. I hear you. I was in the same boat. When we talk about this at the end and I tell you what it is, go get some of these products. I swear you'll be able to pick up some notes, and it'll be a good training way for you to just experience whiskey in a new light. Because if you don't get banana when you smell one of these, your sniffer's broken. That's all I gotta say. Love the nose. And a great taste. Great taste. None of these taste over 101 proof, I'll say that. This is hard because these are such different products, and so I'm having a hard time saying which one's better. And I knew that going into this, right? I picked 16 whiskeys. You know, I've got weeded in here. I got single barrels in here. I've got small batch, all different distilleries. But like, as it gets closer to the end, I knew it was going to be hard to say like, yeah, this is the best one, because in reality, all these have been pretty good so far. There's really only one or two that I'll probably pass on. I won't buy again. I tried it. That is what it is. I'm not going to be looking to get it. But about 13 out of 16, 14 out of 60 products, I'm going to buy these bottles again. So to me, that's a win. That is what I was looking for, right? I'm just narrowing it down to one because it makes it fun. I'm saying all this because when I pick my winner, we need to talk about it a little. Because these are very different products, but close, almost identical proof points, right? So just shows you some distilleries do it different. Go back to the glass number one that I tasted in this round. Another reason blinds are great, when you go back and forth, that's when things really open up, right? Like you smell it, you taste it, you move on to another one, you come back, and obviously do this much slower than I'm doing it. I'm kind of going quick for the video, but it gets better. It just gets better. The longer it's open, the more you swirl it around, the more you smell it, the more you taste it, let it linger. It just gets better. All right, I'm going with glass number two. This one here, the one that I was smelling, getting a little bit of banana in. I'll explain. I kind of think I know which one's won. Let's go ahead. I'll go grab the card, figure it out. Let's see what we got. All right, folks. Here's our winners. Here's what's moving on to the final four. And if you have been watching along, if you've paid attention to my channel, this probably is not coming as any surprise to the viewers. In the first round, it was Buffalo Trace against Weller. I kind of picked up on that after I was going back and forth. They were super similar. Barely could tell any really big differences in them for me personally. And Weller, like I've told you on this channel, this was not this bottle, but this was the first product that got it all started for me. This is literally why I have the collection that I do. I like it, and you like what you like. So Weller's moving on to the final four. I'm going to leave it at that because I know not everybody can get it. If you're in the Kentucky area and you can't get Weller, go get Green River. Right? That is going to be my next recommendation on what you should get if you can't get this. If you are not in Kentucky, maybe like the Larceny was a small batch weeded that we picked up. It was good, just different in my opinion. I hate that people can't try this and taste it as a beginner bourbon, because that's exactly what it's intended to be, and it is a good one for it. Over here, so the Old Forester 100 did take the Wild Turkey one-on-one. Here's what I'm going to say. Between the Wild Turkey 101, the Old Forester 100, they're really not a loser. Like, they're different in their own way, but they're good. Like, they are like what you want in your budget bourbon value. So, but hey, this is March Madness. This is what happens. The one you want doesn't always win. The favorite sometimes loses. In this round, my favorite did win. This is my profile, folks. This is something that I like. I had not had Old Forester 100 before we started this. I'd only had the 1910, the 1920, some of the birthday bourbons. I was fortunate enough to pick up the Old Forester 1924 and give it a try, but I walked past it, right? It was always there. I didn't see a need to get it. And so for me, this will be one that I'll pick up. The Wild Turkey 101, had never had it until we did this little series here. I'm going to go buy another bottle of that just to have for me, because when I get through that Wild Turkey 101, I've got one ready to roll. That's the one I said, by the way, if you were paying attention and you actually made it through the whole video. Wild Turkey 101, bonfire. That's what I'm drinking outside when it's a nice fall day, sitting around the fire. Probably gonna enjoy a stogie with it too. So they're good. As we get closer here, keep in mind, these were winners that moved forward. This is supposed to be hard. This is just what I like. So I'll leave it with that, folks. We now have our final four. We are just a few videos away from finding out what I believe is the best budget bourbon value that you can get, hopefully, on the shelf. We'll keep working our way through. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. Cheers and happy chewing.